What is up? It's Whitney Bro. And for today's video, we're going to be testing out the About Face Performer Skin Focused Foundation. I'm super excited to try this, so if that sounds interesting to you, go ahead and keep on watching. I'm going to go ahead and prime with my e.l.f. Power Grip Primer. I use this primer on a daily basis with lots of other foundations, so I'm just sticking to something that I know. So I'm in the shade M2 Olive. Go ahead and get it out of the box. It is plastic, but it feels really, really nice. I don't love that the cap is shiny because that's going to get really gross really quick, but that's just a cosmetic detail. And I believe it has a stick like the e.l.f. Yeah. If I can get it out. There we go. So once this sets for 30 seconds, I'm going to go ahead and apply, and we're going to get on into it. For concealer, I'm using my True Complexion Black Radiance Concealer. I absolutely adore this stuff. Again, this is something that I use on a daily basis, so I know exactly how it performs. I am of the opinion when you try out a new foundation, you really want to keep everything else as not new as possible. If your whole face is new and stuff goes wonky, it's a little bit hard to tell what went wonky where. So that's why we are giving this the individual treatment. So I'm going to go ahead and I'm not going to duck back in twice because I don't know how full coverage this is, but we're going to get on into it. Ooh. On camera, it doesn't look like a good shade match. However, in person, the shade match looks immaculate. So I just have really bright lights that tend to wash my skin out a little bit. Okay, so I don't know if that's equivalent to a pump or not, since it has the little stick thing in it, but we'll go ahead and blend it on out. I always use a brush, so I'm going to be using, not always, I say that, I go through phases where I'll use brushes. I go through phases where I use sponges. Right now I'm in a brush phase. So we're using the Sigma F47 multitasker. Wow. Oh, wow. That really is just blending right in. I am... Sometimes other foundations I have, and it doesn't make it a bad foundation, but sometimes you just have to struggle a little bit to get it to blend. And there's just no struggle there whatsoever. Like, wow. Wow. I don't know if y'all can see that. I'm getting ready for work, so this is a little bit of a gamble if it didn't work out. I really like how that's sitting on my skin. I love how it blended in. I had pretty low expectations, nothing against Halsey, but a lot of celebrities just have cash grab makeup brands and they end up just not being that good. And I'm happy to say that is so good. It has coverage, and I'm sure you could build it up. This is about where I like my coverage to be because I really focus on my skincare. But, and if I'm looking this way randomly, my bigger mirror's right there. But I am incredibly pleasantly surprised with this foundation. This is going fantastic as far as a first impression is concerned. I will also be doing a wear test, and I'm not going to set it with any kind of powder because I don't normally set my foundation. But I'm going to check back in while I'm at work with you guys. I'm going to do it on my cell phone, and I'm going to insert that clip once we get the whole face done. But yeah, color me impressed. I like it a lot. I am in awe right now just because of how good how much it literally looks like skin. It's not looking weird around my mouth, which foundation tends to do sometimes, so I kind of have to finesse it a little bit. Yeah. As far as the first impression goes, she is a 10 out of 10. So hopefully that doesn't change. I'm going to go in with my NYX Buttermelt Bronzer. I can't say bronzer to save my life. The NYX Buttermelt Bronzer. And we're going to see how things apply on top of it because it's beautiful right now. But if something goes wonky, because like I said, I don't set. So if this is a foundation that you have to set, may not necessarily be the best match for me. It really is blending beautifully on top. I'm hoping the camera's picking it up, but nothing's getting streaky, nothing's getting weird. The foundation's not lifting. All the things that I look for in a good foundation, this foundation is ticking those boxes and more. Oh my gosh, I love this foundation. Like I said, I had pretty it's $22, so it isn't an awful price point, but it still is more expensive than like a $10 or $15 foundation, which is normally my wheelhouse. So buying this was a little bit, I don't want to say a gamble, but kind of, just because it's more expensive than what I would normally buy, and I didn't know if I was going to like it or not. I am I am speechless right now because of how good this foundation is. I expected to have some type of issue with it because that tends to be my luck whenever I'm excited to try a new foundation. But I'm silent right now because I really don't have a whole lot to say about it. It's good. It is just legitimately good, and I don't know what took me so long to buy it. But if you see this video and you're like me and you just haven't pulled the trigger yet, I'm telling you right now, first impressions, buy it. I really love because I feel like if this works out how I'm hoping it will while I'm at work, this could be a new holy grail foundation for me. And I'm so excited about that. Because right now I have to mix a bunch of foundations together because I have some that are too light for me. I have some that are too dark for me. I don't really have anything that's right in that wheelhouse where I can just use it straight out of the bottle. And this one, it isn't doing anything weird. It's just good. I really am so pleasantly surprised with how this is going. And I know I've repeated myself a lot because I just legitimately am excited. Like, this is just a good experience right now. My NYX palette for the blush. I wish they would come out with these as singles, these three right here, because they are gorgeous. I think I may even use this highlight too while we have it out. Might as well. I did have a bit of a hard pan emergency with the blush where I had to scrape the top off. It's not really an emergency, it's just the blush is more intense than I wanted it to be. So now I've got to go back and I've got to make the bronzer more intense than I originally made it. But we're going to use the highlighter. As far as the foundation's concerned, though, it's beautiful. I applied more blush than I wanted to, but that's my own fault, nothing to do with the foundation. I'm really interested in this area because this is usually my problem area for foundation. And it's not like a deal breaker for me if it does break up. I'm just interested to see, because it's called the performer. So I'm like, does that mean it's going to kind of do what it needs to do with your skin? Okay, we're going to move on to eyebrows, which I've been loving my NYX brow glue. It's just a very quick, simple. I really don't like to fill in my brows a whole lot if I'm not doing like full glam. For some reason, I feel like when I fill my eyebrows in, they just get too big. It just gets out of control really fast because I do have very thick brows. And I don't know. I've discovered on days that I do it when my makeup is like this and not full glam, it just looks weird. I don't like it. So now that the face is done, I'm going to go ahead and insert the clips of my check-ins at work. I do have a 7-hour shift, so we're going to see how this is working about halfway through, and then at the very end, we're going to do a check-in. You guys will know more about how that's going to go than I do sitting here recording this. Fingers crossed it's good, but let's jump on into the wear test.
Okay, so it's about halfway through my shift. Things are still looking good. Nothing's broken apart yet. Around my mouth looks especially good compared to some of the other foundations I've been using. So we'll see you then. It's about 4 o'clock right now. I'll check in around 8 or 9. So I'm under my studio lights and it's 9:25 as I'm recording this, and I really do think this foundation is the bee's knees. Winner, winner, chicken dinner, because it hasn't moved, it hasn't separated, it's held onto product beautifully. I ate and really wasn't that careful about how I ate, and yeah, it's still looking good. So my review of 10 out of 10 stands.
So my final thoughts on my first impression is that this foundation is so good. It is very thin, yet the coverage is high, so you don't have to feel like that you're compensating because it's a thin formula. It blends beautifully. It sits on the skin beautifully. Maybe my opinion might change. If my opinion changes drastically, I will be recording another clip to put here, but I don't think it will. Even it just sitting on my skin, it literally looks like my skin. It's not doing anything bunchy or weird. My skin doesn't feel crunchy. I feel good. I feel confident. It's not doing anything weird around my mouth, which, like I said, that's typically a problem area for me. So I definitely think Halsey did her big one with this About Face foundation. And I'm very pleasantly surprised with the shade match that I was able to get. As you can see, it matches my neck perfectly. Probably looked a little bit weird in the beginning because my lights do tend to wash me out a little bit. But as far as the Performer foundation is concerned, it's going to be a yes from me. And let's hope that the results of the wear test are good, because otherwise that might alter my opinion. But yeah, I had a lot of fun recording this and trying that foundation out. If you enjoyed this video, give it a big thumbs up. Leave me a comment below. Let me know if you've tried it, if you like it, or even what your favorite foundations are. I would love to know. I'm always kind of in the market for testing and trying out new foundations. I'm just very picky about which ones I ultimately buy. But yeah, thank you for coming along on this journey with me, and I will see you guys in my next video. Bye!